CUPS configuration files. The configuration files associated with the CUPS service are stored in the etc/CUPS directory. A brief description of each file in this directory can help you understand the ins and outs of the CUPS service. But I won't review these files quite in order. The main CUPS configuration file is cupsd.conf. A version of this file is available in cupsd.conf.default, and that's how the cupsd.conf file was when the CUPS service was first installed. Any printers that have been configured are shown in the printers.conf configuration file. Printers configured in this file include the URI of each printer, as shown here. As you can see near the bottom of this file, we have a device URI of IPP ubuntuserver.mamabears.com, which points to a printer on that particular server. If you've configured a group of printers together in a class, those printers are listed in classes.conf. That file looks somewhat like the printers.conf configuration file. That print group or print groups configured in classes.conf appear in shares just like an individual printer. A job sent to a print group is processed by the first available printer in that group. Configured PostScript printer description drivers, also known as PPD files, are stored in the etc/cups/ppd directory. Format filters and their associated file types are configured in the mime.coms and mime.types files. Filters associated with raw print jobs, along with their corresponding file types, are configured in the raw.coms and raw.types files. If you print out PDF files, say from KPDF or an Adobe Acrobat Reader, those files are processed through the acroread.conf configuration file. SSL certificates, those which support encryption, are stored in the etc/cups/SSL directory. If they're so enabled, automatic detection of network printers, in other words, printers shared from other systems on the local network, is configured through snmp.conf, which uses the simple network management protocol. Now let's look at the cupsd.conf configuration file in a bit more detail. The default version of this file includes a log level warn directive. If you changed warn to something like debug, you'd get more detailed messages in the error_log file in the var/log/cups directory. It's as described in the comments of the configuration file. The system group lpadmin directive refers to a configured group in the etc/group configuration file. Members of that group are configured as print administrators. The listen directive is normally limited to the local system with the localhost :631 directive, but for this particular service, I've taken out the localhost, which means that printers configured here are shared with other systems. Normally, browsing is set to off, But if I change that to browsing on, that's what enables access to printers shared from other systems using the simple network management protocol. Going down a little bit in the file, the default auth type basic directive specifies authentication based on user memberships in etc/group, and thus works hand in hand with the system group lp-admin directive. Next, there are 3 location stanzas in this configuration file. The default version of this file do not have that allow at local directive. But with that allow at local directive, it allows access from other systems on the local network to administer this particular CUP server. In the location admin/conf container, you'll see a required user at system directive. That points right back to the system group directive for a list of authorized print administrators. And as I've just described, any member of the lp-admin group, as defined in etc/group, is an authorized print administrator. The remaining stanzas customize settings such as printer job management, and as so far as the UCP curriculum is concerned, are addressed in other videos. Accepting and rejecting print jobs. There are 2 basic ways to manage print jobs using the CUP service. First, there's the process on the printer itself, which can be managed with the CUPS accept and CUPS reject commands. Then there's the management of print queues, which I discuss in another video. The CUPS accept and CUPS reject commands are fairly straightforward. Based on printer names as defined in the etc/cups/printers.conf configuration file, the CUPS reject printer command disables the printer. Let me try that on one of my printers. From a review of the printers.conf file, I see that the printer named color printer is idle and is accepting jobs. Now let's try this CUPS reject command. CUPS reject color printer. And let's see what that does to its printer status. Ah, look at that. Accepting is now set to no. Another way to check it is with the lpc status command. As you can see on the top of the screen, queuing is disabled. Now let's try re-enabling the printer with the CUPS accept command. The name of the printer is color printer. And let's see the result first in the printers.conf configuration file. Yes, it's now accepting jobs again. And in the lpc status command, the output to it. Yes, queuing once again is enabled. Manage printers and print queues. Printer management using the CUPS service is made possible with the help of the CUPS enable and CUPS disable commands. These commands start and stop the printers of your choice. In a moment, we'll try the CUPS disable command on a printer. But to know how to apply it to a printer, we need the list of configured printers, and it's available in the etc/cups/printers.conf configuration file. And as we could see at the beginning of these stanzas, I have at least two printers on this particular system: color printer and LaserJet 4L. So let's try disabling the color printer, which, as you can see, is currently idle. We run the cups disable command on color printer. We check the printers.conf file again. We see the status stopped. The state message shows that the printer is paused. And that information is confirmed in the output to the LPC status command. Queuing is enabled, but printing is disabled. Now let's try re-enabling this printer. This is something you might do, say, after clearing a paper jam or installing a new ink cartridge. We re-enable the color printer. Its status and state once again in the printers.conf configuration file is idle. And the LPC status command shows that the color printer is once again enabled. Next, let's talk a bit about basic print queue management. With the cup system, print queues depend on commands borrowed from the older line print daemon system, specifically to identify the jobs associated with a queue. The lpq command can help. As shown here, for this different system, the default printer is LaserJet-4L, and there are 3 jobs in this queue. But that's only one of the printers configured on this system. If I run the lpq-a command, I see 4 print jobs in action. So, if there's more than one printer, I may want to specify the print queue of a specific printer, and that's where the P switch can help. On this particular printers.conf configuration file, I know the name of the printer is PSC_1200. And there's that print job 7. I could remove that job with the lprm7 command. We know that it's job 7. And for the sake of this demo, let's remove job 8 instead. Okay, job 8 is no longer in the queue. Now let's try another scenario. Say the printer PSC_1200 is down because it's out of ink and you don't have a replacement cartridge and you just got to get that print job out. That's where the lpmove command can help. So we know that the job number is job 7. It's on the PSC_1200 printer, and we want to move it to the LaserJet-4L printer. Now let's check that default print queue, and there it is. The job from PSC_1200 printer has been successfully moved. Printer logs and troubleshooting. Besides your knowledge of printer configuration files and CUPS commands, the troubleshooting of the CUPS service involves an understanding of printer logs. The level of information that you can get from a print log file is determined by the first directive in the main CUPS configuration file, cupsd.conf. The default log directive in this file is log level warning. The log levels for the CUPS service follow the same basic format as those for other files. In other words, if you needed more information, you could change log level warning to log level debug, info, or notice. Log level debug would provide the maximum available log information. Just be aware the messages that may result could easily seem overwhelming. Logging from the CUPS service is sent to files in the var/log/cups directory. There are normally 3 files in this directory: access log, error log, and page log. The access log includes all accesses made to the CUPS service for print queues, for managing print jobs, enabling and disabling printers with commands like CUPS enable and CUPS disable, and more. The error log is just that, a log of problems from various errors. They can relate to unauthorized access attempts, to missing directives. The page log specifies print job access to the CUPS service. A page log entry will specify the printer by name, by the print job number, by the time the print job was sent, by the print server, and more.